Just to recap the news coming in, BJP-led NDA combined leading on 191 seats and counting. We still have with us our guest, Mr. Iyer, in the studio with us. Also joining us from Patna is our colleague Deepika Mehto. Deepika, over to you.
Yes, Ramesh, this is a remarkable figure when we talk about, and we had a word with many of the BJP members also. However, one of the BJP member who also happens to be the spokesperson for the media, he said that they will try to keep the celebrations low-key because of the Delhi blast. So they don't want the celebrations to go on a very higher note because they are also concerned of the number of deaths that have occurred in that Delhi blast. Hence the reason is why the celebrations are low-key at the BJP headquarters. But again, the excitement is really high amongst the party workers here. We had a word with different sort of party members and especially the women here. Because we had a word, we went on the ground, and when we talk about especially places like Araval and Jahanabad, where caste system was once voted for, that also is vouching for change now, because BJP is also, as per the current trend, emerging as the leaders from these places as well, from these seats as well, which means that people are rising above the caste issue, are rising above the MY factor, which was earlier the Muslim and Yadav factor, but has now turned, it has transformed into the Mahila and youth factor. Gen Z have come out in large numbers. They voted for development, and I think this is the wave of development that is making the wind blow towards the NDA government here.
Yes, Deepika, we know that a number of rounds have been counted so far. How many more rounds to go? Is there any likelihood of the MGB being able to redeem itself a little, because we are now getting news that Tejasvi Yadav is trailing from Raghopur?
Yes, if we track down the records, the trends as of now, Tejasvi Yadav, who was leading since the morning, is now trailing back, and apart from him, there are other key seats where the opposition party members, they were early in the early hours of the vote count. Yes, they were leading, but now they are trailing, which means seems like a clean sweep for NDA alliance here, with both the key parties taking a lead over here, and especially the key leaders. And we heard Tejasvi Yadav once again saying that he said that he would be blaming the officers if something goes wrong, because he believes that it is the rigging of the votes that is leading all the results towards BJP's or NDA's in NDA's favor. But now it remains to be seen that how Tejasvi Yadav is going to react to this particular result trend, because we saw for the first time a very, very fair, without any hassles, without any complaints. All the constituencies were underwent a very fair and free democratic process of polling as well, and even the counting process is being taken care of very nicely. And the Rath Yatra is now going on outside the BJP headquarters, celebrating the victory of the NDA alliance. So this is the latest that we are tracking for you from the BJP headquarters here in Munmun.
Right, Deepika, stay on. We'll come back to you momentarily. Mr. Iyer, coming to you now, how do you interpret these numbers that are coming in 191 and counting, going to the NDA, crossing the the 3/4 mark, way past the 122 number that's needed for a simple majority, and except Seemanchal, perhaps all the other 6 regions voting decisively in favor of the NDA?
Yeah, this is, I think, a complete sweep. I would say this is unprecedented for the NDA or for any party for a long time in Bihar, where we are seeing collapse of opposition. If the trends indicating Tejasvi Yadav himself is struggling in his home ground of Raghopur, I think that's very terrible news for the opposition. And also the fact, the collapse of the Congress, the second most important partner in the Mahagathbandhan, that also shows somewhere down the line, they just lost in terms of issues to be projecting themselves as an alternative to Nitish Kumar-led government. And this is a positive vote that is coming. This is a pro-incumbency vote, which is what we heard the NDA leaders right from the Prime Minister throughout the campaigning emphasizing this is going to be a historical verdict. And as trends indicate, it is indeed going to be a historical verdict.
Absolutely. Looking at the numbers, the BJP has outperformed itself because it had got 74 last time around. Now it's at 82, leading on 82 seats. If we look at the JDU, it was at 43, and it's the best, almost the best performer, because again it's a neck and neck still between the BJP and the JDU. The LJP had got just one seat. It's at 23. So the entire alliance arithmetic, it seems, has worked. And like one of our guests was also earlier saying that the NDA managed to get its cards together, its boat together in a sense, whereas the MGP was still fighting over seats. And even we saw that on around 12 seats, there were friendly fights from within the MGP. So do you think that the way they handled the alliance has worked in their favor, particularly the performance of LJP and how the vote transfers happened from one constituent to another constituent within the NDA?
Indeed, Munmun, you have put everything in the correct perspective, I would say, because, see, last time, Lok Jan Shakti Party, Chirag Paswan, he left the NDA and contested again in all the seats. And
against the JDU particularly. They were contesting
he
against
turned
the
a
JDU.
spoiler.
Yes.
And in the process, he also lost. I mean, his own party performed very badly.
That was despite the sympathy that was there after
for his father,
Ramvilas Paswan's death.
But this time, he not only stayed along, and because he had returned to NDA soon after that, and then stayed along, and then he also supported Nitish Kumar. See, that was a very positive, and Paswan vote is a key factor in all the constituencies of Bihar. It's one element of Dalit vote which I would say is a key player in all the constituencies. So you mentioned about the social combinations or the social coalition, because NDA is not just about political coalition. So what we saw was BJP bringing in the non-OBC votes. You had Nitish Kumar himself being a Kurmi leader representing only 3%, but then he had emerged as a leader who represents a large rainbow of coalition of social coalition.
Shekhar sir, is this a wave election? Because this is nothing short of a wave. This has gone way past the 3/4 majority mark.
Well, everybody who went to cover Bihar elections kept on saying that there are silent voters, there are undercurrents. Nowadays, journalists don't talk about waves.
Nobody saw this tsunami coming?
So everybody is talking because everybody felt, and also, Bunbun, we have to see one thing. Jan Swaraj Party, the Prashant Kishore's party, which promised to be a spoiler for everybody, has also collapsed. I mean, we first heard they were leading in 3 seats. I'm not sure whether they are leading even in 1.
They're not leading on any.
Though in terms of visibility, in terms of their campaign, they I would say at one point they were even hogging the show.
Indeed. Let's take a moment to go across to our colleague Abhishek, who is joining us from the election news desk with the latest polling data.